गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नस्तुन्वन्नोतिविश्वेद सादनम्। ॐ श्री महागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग विद्यास्थानेभ्यैव च सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा ग्रीवाहुरपरो हरिः अभाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Lead from 77th सूत्र। दहर उत्तरेभ्यः गति शब्दाभ्याम तथा हि दृष्टं लिंगं च धृतेश्च महिम्नोऽस्मिन्नुपलब्धेः प्रसिद्धेश्च इतर परामर्शात् स इति चेन्नासंभवात्। उत्तराच्चेदाविर्भूतस्वरूपस्तु अन्यार्थश्च परामर्शः अल्पश्रुतेरिति चेत्तदुक्तम् अनुकृतेस्तस्य च अपि च स्मर्यते शब्दादेव प्रमितः हृद्यपेक्षया तु मनुष्याधिकारत्वात् तदुपर्यपि बादरायणः संभवात्। तदुपर्यपि बादरायणः संभवात्. We'll lead from each 313. अंगुष्टमात्र श्रुतिः मनुष्य हृदयापेक्षया मनुष्यादेकारत्वात् शास्त्रस्य इति उक्तम्. तत्प्रसंगेन इदमुच्यते. बाढ़ं मनुष्यानधिकरोति शास्त्रम् न तो मनुष्यान् एव इतिह ब्रह्मज्ञाने नियमोऽस्ति. तेषां मनुष्याणाम् उपरिष्टाद्ये देवादयः तान्यप्यधिकरोति शास्त्रम् इति बादरायणः आचार्यो मन्यते. कस्माद् संभवात् संभवति तेषामपि अर्थित्वात् अर्थित्वादि अधिकारकारणम् तत्रार्थित्वम् तावन्मोक्षविषयम् देवादीनामपि संभवति. विकार विषय विभूति अनित्यत्वालोचनादिनिमित्तम्. What is the problem? अनित्यत्व आलोचनादि निमित्तम् तथा सामर्थ्यम् अपि तेषां संभवति. मंत्रार्थवाद इतिहास पुराण लोकेभ्यः विग्रहवत्वादेवगमात् न च तेषां कश्चित् प्रतिषेधो अस्ति. न च उपनयनादि शास्त्रेण येषामधिकारो निवर्तेत. उपनयनस्य वेदाध्ययनार्थत्वात् तेषां च स्वयं प्रतिभात वेदत्वात् अपि चैषां विद्याग्रहणार्थम् ब्रह्मचर्यादि दर्शयति. 100 हवै वर्षाणि मघवान् प्रजापतौ ब्रह्मचर्यम् उवास. भृगुर्वै वारुणी वरुणपितरम् उपससार. अधीहि भगवो ब्रह्म इत्यादि यदपि कर्मसु अनधिकार कारणमुक्तम् न देवानां देवतान्तराभावातिति न ऋषीणाम् आर्षयान्तराभावादिति न तद्विद्यासु अस्ति न हि इंद्रादीनां विद्यासु अधिक्रियमाणानाम् इंद्राद्योद्देशेन किंचित् कृत्यम् अस्ति न च भृग्वादी सगोत्रतया तस्माद्देवादीनामपि विद्यासु अधिकारः केन वार्यते देवादि अधिकारे अपि अंगुष्ठमात्र श्रुतिः स्वांगुष्ठापेक्षया न विरुध्यते We were seeing the Devata Adhikaran, and this Adhikaran is the 8th Adhikaran of the 3rd pad of the 1st chapter. And this Adhikaran is based on this Adhikaran is based on the Kathopanishad, that mantra Angushtamatra Purusha Madhyatmani Tishtati Ishano Bhutabhavyasya Tatona Vijogupsate. Then Angushtamatra Purusha Jyotirivadhomaka Ishano Bhutabhavyasya Saushva Satya Saushva. So there are 8 sutras in this Adhikaran, and what was the point of contention was that this Angushtamatra Purusha is localized Jeev or all-pervasive Paramatma. Paramatma means Brahman. Then Bhashyakar established that it is the Paramatma only because of the second line. Ishana Bhutabhavyasya. And Sa Adya Saushva. He is today also, he will be tomorrow. That means he is eternal. So that was the Shabdat. The word was there, Shabdat. Then the second question had come, that why only Angushtamatra has been mentioned. And then it was said Angushtamatra because of 2 reasons. What was the reason? One reason was because of Upasana and because of Upalabdhi Sthana. Then the question came, why only Angushta word has been used for Upasana? Why not Upasana can be of any other object in the heart? Then it was said that Manushya heart is of the shape of fist, and in that fist there is a availability of the mind, and the obtaining of the Paramatma is like the witness of that mind. And inside the fist only the thumb can be going like this. There is a space only for thumb. And therefore Angushtamatra Purusha has been used. Manushya Adhikaratvat. Then new point came up, I told you it's an incidental diversion for 2 sutras. This is the Adhikaran, next Adhikaran. So earlier one was Adhikaran with only how many sutras? 2 sutras. This Devata Adhikaran is for 8 sutras. And in that, the topic is of the extension of the last Adhikaran's question. There is no Vishayavakya of this particular Adhikaran. It's an extension of the last sutra's question. And what is the question? Question is that do the Devatas also have the Adhikar for Vedanta Shravana? Because Angushta Matra Purusha and you said Manusha Adhikaratvat. So if I say Devatas have also Adhikar or not, so then that Angusht will be of the Devatas also, or that Angusht would be only of the human beings also. So many questions there is. To that point it was said that Adhikar is defined as 3 points. Arthitvam, Samarthitvam and Apratishidhatvam or Shastrena Aparyudastatvam. Means what? One should have the desire. Second, one should have the capacity. And third, one should, that is not negated by the Shastra. Yesterday's point I am repeating, so it comes back in your memory. And this topic was in Tattvabodha also. So Arthitvam, why? Because they are also experiencing samsara. Therefore, everybody wants to get out of sorrows. For all sorrows, forever. Second, Samarthitvam, they also have a body. They also have Vahan and bodies. And last was Shastrena Aparyudastatvam or Apratishidhatvam. So Shastra does not say that you cannot study the Vedas. Now here is where our discussion was almost going on. Be very careful. I had told yesterday that Vedic studies is allowed only after the Upanayan Samskara. Upanayan, Nayan means to take. So taking to that Guru only after the formal Upanayanam has been done. That means Ved was not independently studied because Ucharan was involved, pronunciations were involved, and Upanayan Samskar was done so that the child is now committed to the Ved Adhyanam. Ved Adhyanam means chanting and memorizing, not studying, not vichara, not mimamsa. And this chanting, and so he chants and he memorizes almost all Vedas. So his time is around 6-10 years. In 10 years, 15 years, he has developed sufficient memory power. He has developed sufficient character, brahmacharya, rules of life, teacher told everything. And therefore I always say the foundation, if that is not very good, so life becomes difficult later on. Anything. Like if you are studying any subject also, and some subject, no good teacher came in the beginning, so later on also you will be very weak in that subject. The foundation years are character building, memory building, and the chanting capacity building. They can chant for 3 hours continuously. Or what did I say? Character building, memory building, and chanting capacity building, and seva building capacity. You're not tired of serving. So ashram had cows, ashram had lot of kitchen work, ashram had lot of cleaning work, menial work, leg work, what you call. When Bhagwan Krishna went to Sandipni Rishi, he also had to do the sweeping. He also had to tend the cows. So this is because that habit is not there. That, in other words, ego diluting process is there. When you don't do menial work, you feel this work is too small for me to do. I am bigger than this work. So it is taught, work is not small, it is your attitude which is small. No work is small. If your attitude is small, even doing the biggest work, then your work is small. Even if you are doing puja, and your attitude is to look down upon somebody, then that puja is small. Shabri attained the grace of Matang Rishi only by sweeping the ashram only. So these things are inculcated in the Brahmacharya ashram. This student, after year 2021, he gets some secular knowledge also. That means knowledge of astronomy, astrology, geology, geography, so that he can earn his livelihood. Earlier days, one who was doctor, his son used to be doctor. So there was no employment going out of the house. Businessman's son was a businessman. And the carpenter's son was a carpenter. The, priest's son was a priest. Already background was there in the house. Teacher's son was the teacher. We were already a musician's son was musician. And the person who was in the royal families, so they were in the royal families. So it was already your whole group was ready to, somebody could take over. Clerk's son was the clerk. Accountant's son was the accountant. This was in their blood. Business was in their blood if he was the businessman. Like this priest is there. So they are only from the priest family. Non-priest family they don't take for the priest course. Non-priest family also. So when they were 25, 26, so there was a convocation ceremony. Convocation ceremony. And convocation ceremony, after that, the students were asked whether you want to marry or you don't want to marry. So some said, I want to marry. Most of them said, I want to marry. And some said, I want to go for sannyas ashram. That is called Naishthik Brahmacharya ashram. Urdhvaretas. Now those who went to the Grahastha ashram, what they had already known chanting, now they needed a wife to practice it, called Ved Purmimamsa portion was now starting. Purmimamsa, I told you 5 things are required for Purmimamsa, if you remember. 5 things. Manushya Vittam was there, Dev Vittam was there, Yajman was there, Patni was required, and Putra was required. So they used to complete all the rituals in that Grahastha ashram. After Grahastha ashram, see how organized was that. They went to Vanaprastha ashram after 50. And they knew that I have 25, 30 years for my Grahastha ashram only. So Grahastha ashram, they had to give one child to the society. They had the opportunity to serve the society by giving them responsible and divine citizen, so that the work can continue. They had to serve their elders also. Serving the elders, because on Grahastha ashram They had to earn their livelihood because all three ashram are based on Grahastha ashram's money. Brahmacharya ashram, Vanaprastha, sannyas, so they had to earn and do charity. So yajna, dan and tap, these three things were there, and they were allowed for some bhog also. So bhog was allowed yatha kalam. Amount of yatha kalam is as per the right time. You can have certain enjoyments also. You can enjoy house, you can enjoy child, you can enjoy wife, you can enjoy husband, you can enjoy good food, you can enjoy going around, you can enjoy clothes, you can enjoy family. But your time is only 25-30 years. After this was over, Vanaprastha ashram came. And Vanaprastha ashram is upasana pradhan, not karma kand pradhan. Aranya. Therefore in Vedas there is a part called Aranyak. So tapa shraddha ye upavasantya aranya. So they used to go for upasana. That means you are getting ready for sannyas ashram. Upasana is for making the mind single pointed. Grahastha ashram is karma yog pradhan, making the mind devoid of wild vasanas, the uncontrolled thoughts that should go away. High speed, uncontrolled thoughts should go away. High speed, erratic thoughts of rag vish have to quieten now. If you don't, because if such a person gate crashes in sannyas ashram, he'll create a problem there. Because he will be unfit for that. He cannot be quiet. He'll get very frustrated because that much of ahankar is not satisfied in sannyas ashram. Grahastha ashram can satisfy little of your ahankar. People will listen to you. But here nobody listens to anybody. Here no bhog is required. So sannyas ashram is for zero bhog. You cannot have any bhog, no allowed, no good food allowed, no forget about husband, wife. You have to leave the house and not come back. You can't stay one night also in the house. And you cannot enjoy good clothes. You cannot enjoy a good house. All this is out of question. You are only centered on the realization of the self in this sannyas ashram. That is the only purpose of sannyas ashram. Okay, so don't forget these points. Now, there what he had chanted and by-hearted in Brahmacharya ashram, he chanted and by-hearted the Ved Puru Bhag also and Ved Paschat or Vedanta Bhag also. Now he is going for Mimamsa, investigation. What is the definition of Mimamsa? Pujit Vichar, adored thinking, Mimamsa, investigation. He starts thinking about what is Brahman, what is Atma. And therefore, this is the hierarchy. This is how the things are going on. So one after another is there. Now, Bhashyakar puts a point. Now what you say, that means if you are studying Vedanta, that means you should have gone through the process of Upanayanam. Then you should have gone through the process of Ved Smaranam and Ved Adhyanam. Adhyanam is chanting. Then you do ritual. Then you do Upasana. Then you come to Vedanta Vichara. Well, I have not done anything. Therefore, struggle is there. Getting up morning is a challenge. Keeping the mind quiet is a challenge. So everywhere you will feel challenges are there because we have gate crashed. If you have gate crashed, I'm not saying you have gate crashed, but if you have gate crashed, then, and again you have to do actions. So you are not fit for a life of solitude. because you will sleep or you will go into manoraj, laziness. Because we have not gone through proper brahmacharya ashram, therefore the mind does not have a ability to listen. Agya palan is not there in the mind. Do this, don't do this. Mind is not vidhi pradhan. Vidheya atma is not there. And therefore the students find difficult. It's not a drawing room discussion. So after this, when we come to Vedantic hall, now this question arises, if Devatas have to study Vedanta, they also should have gone through all this. Only I am going to Rupanayanam, then Veda Dhyanam, then Ved Smaranam, then Karm Kand, then Upasana Kand, then you hear Vedanta. Because Vedanta requires a very subtle intellect. So whole ashram is made to prepare you for making a mind which is fit for knowing the truth. So all this tam jham and all this work which has been mentioned, 60 years you spent your time, just to make this mind only quieter, single-pointed, devoid of anger, devoid of abhiman, devoid of kam, krodh. Therefore you come here. I'm supposing, no, I have too much, I cannot, then you are not fit for sannyas. Then you go back. Then you go and do upasana and karma yoga only. Next birth. Next birth again you try your luck. Or put one more chance. Now this question arises. Devatas should go through the process of these 4-5 steps and then come or not. Got my point? Bhashyakar says, Devatas don't require Upanayanam, etc. They don't require learning and chanting of the Vedas. They don't require Karm Kand. They don't require Upasana Kand. Lo. Are? They are exempted from everything. Yes. में तो भाई partiality हो गई. This is partiality with the Vedas. I am going to the teacher, serving there, studying. And then I know the chanting. Chanting is still difficult for me. And they are not chanting, they are not by hearting. ये तो भाई गलत बात है. This is called, this law is only for me and not for them. All the rules are for me. Others are breaking the rules at any time they want to do anything they do. And for me, all the rules are applicable. So Bhashyakar says, no, don't jump to conclusions because of their Devi status. They are exempted from the Vedic chanting because they became Devatas itself means that they have done sufficient ritual and upasana. You understand this point that because you are the Manushya and that too little defective piece is there because you have Kam, Krodh or you don't chant properly, your heart is very small. You find fault in this person. You are lazy, therefore you sleep. So you have 10 defects. Your status and their status is very different. So you cannot prescribe one prescription to everybody. This will be a foolish system that which prescribes one prescription for everybody. What your problem is, they are becoming Devatas. That means their mind was very expanded. They were identified with something big And therefore, they don't need that much of upasana. And they have become devatas because they must have chanted the mantras in their past birth. And therefore, devatas, and they don't need upanayanam because they don't need, they are not born. They automatically attain youthful body and they continue for a very long time, and after they don't have garbhavas, etc. They don't have womb. That maybe Indra is there, then he became child Indra. Is not like that. Indra is straight away Indra. And therefore, it is expected that they have Ved part Jnanam. And they are already well versed in their Ved part and Ved Smaranam. And therefore, they are called Swayam Bhat Veda. By birth, they have the knowledge of Vedic chanting. And you don't know alphabet also. So there's a big difference between you and them. So don't compare with them. They have knowledge of Vedic chanting. They have knowledge of, what is it called, memory they have. And therefore, don't compare yourself with them. Their status is very exalted status than your status. You forget every second moment. They don't forget. They have the right pronunciation are there. So don't think that I'm exempting because of any favor. But there's a logic behind that. Therefore, they are exempted for that. And this is very important in the ashram also, in our mission also. Lot of boys and girls join the Brahmachari course. Not. After studying, do you think they all do the same work? Some do some work in the office also. I don't know you went to CCMT office or not. You must have seen some are doing the office work also. They sit from 10 to 4 in the office. Some are there who do the editing work. Some are there who have taken social projects. Feeding scheme project is there. Some are there who get money. Some are there who do upasana. Some are there who are very good in teaching, they good teaching work. Some are there who say, I cannot, I want to meditate. So you meditate also. To prescribe the same prescription for the whole people is a big blunder, and it is a very thoughtless kind of system. No? Somebody is good in chanting Lord's name, somebody is good in puja, somebody is good in upasana also, in sadhana also everybody's upasana is different. Somebody says, no, I can't chant Lord's name, I can run around. Okay. But do something as per the Shastra, as the scriptures, as the prescribed by the teacher. Don't do independently, because your mind will cheat you. Mind is the trickiest thing of this whole world. If you are not alert, it will throw you up. Because you can't handle your mind, therefore you have to go to the ashram so that you can give the mind to the teacher. Let him handle your mind. And the thing through which you give the teacher to handle your mind is called the faith and surrender. Now I am giving my mind, you handle my mind, because I cannot handle my mind. Mind is very, very difficult to tackle and handle. And there is where the role of teacher is there. Teacher can help only when you help in helping. Teacher cannot help. Teacher is the may I help you desk. But if you don't go to the desk, then you can't help. If you don't follow the teacher cannot help anything. Saviryam karvavai. We both will put effort. Getting my mind. Not getting my mind. Everybody is forced to study. Everybody's minimum study you should definitely have. You should do minimum studies. Minimum jap you should have. Minimum puja you should have. But after that, what you are going to do, that is decided by your past birth sadhana, your past birth tendencies. So to say that what I require, Devatas also required, or Devatas are Devatas because of a certain reason. Devatas are Devatas, you should understand. So, and therefore, Devatas are permitted for studies of Vedanta straight away because of their Purva Gyan and Purva Smarana. They are permitted. If they cannot study, then they will be asked to go back again. But they are permitted. Oh, they have physical. So 3 things Devatas have. I am repeating it. Arthi, that means they have desire. Samarthi, they have body. They may not have a physical body, but their physical body is subtle physical body. So a subtle physical body. But I can't see them. Many things you can't see. Many things you can't hear. Certain electromagnetic waves you can't hear. Certain things you can't see. Many bacteria are there you can't see. Viruses are there you can't see. You need very high the blood test what happens. It is a very high resolution microscope is there which tests the blood. Then you can see certain things. So many things you don't see is existing also. So Devatas also exist but you cannot see. Anyway, this is body Devatas have. And third was Arti Samarthi and Apratishiddatvam. Shastra has allowed them for the knowledge. Are you getting clarity? Not getting clarity. Clarity has to be there. So this is the thing. Let me go to the word analysis. See the word analysis of the sutra. This, what is the word here? Tad, how many words are there? Tad upari api badarayanaha sambhavat. See the word here. Tad upari api badarayanaha sambhavat. How many words? 5 words. So you have to supply one adhikarinaha iti manyate. So you have to supply 3 words. First is adhikarinaha iti manyate. So rearrange the whole thing. Tad upari api and then adhikarinaha sambhavat. So tad upari api. Let's each word we will see now. Iti badarayanaha manyate. Iti badarayana. Iti manyate will go with badarayana. And adhikarana will go with tad upari api. So what is there? Tad means tasya tesha manushyanam. Upari means uparishtha, devatas. So tad upari means their celestials who are above the human beings. Manushyasya uparishthaha devata. So that which is above the human beings, tad upari api. And api adhikarina. Here you bring adhikari. So these devatas, why api? Because manushya are adhikari. And therefore devatas are also adhikari. Manushya are qualified, but devatas are also qualified. Tad upari api. Tad upari api. क्या होगा? Tad upari api manushyanam. Tad means manushyanam upari api. Manushyanam upari devataha. Adhikarina. Adhikarina means they are qualified. Qualified for what? Shastra Adhyanam. Okay. Also why? Because in the last adhikaran, Manushya was, human beings were there. So now I'm talking that devatas also have the qualification. Okay. Okay, full stop after that. And what is the cause given? Hetu Panchami Yudhi Sambhavat. Sambhavat means what? Possible. Why possible? Because of 3 conditions they fulfilled. Because of the presence of 3 conditions, Adhikar Karana Sambhavat. What's three conditions? They have the desire, they are having the body and capacity, and they are being not negated by the scriptures. These are the three conditions called Sambhavat. Again I will say, what did I say? They have the desire. Second, bolo. They have the capacity, they have the body. And third, they are being allowed. They are not negated by the script. Apratishadhatvam, arthitvam, samarthitvam, and apratishadhatvam is there. Okay. And therefore, with the whole tad upari api, and then iti badarayana manyate. This is Badarayana means Vedavyas. Vedavyas. Vedavyas is called Badarayana. Why? No. That is Dvaipayan. Dvaipayan, he was born in an island. Why is it called Badarayana? Why is it called Badarayana? Nobody will say. Why is it called Badarayana? He was in Badrivan. No, Badri is the Beri. Beri is called Badri. Badrinath. So Badrinath is called Badrinath because Badri is the name of a tree there. Beri is called Badri. Under that tree he was there. It's called Badarayana. He's also called Dvaipayan because of the island. And he's also called Krishna because it was dark. It was dark in color. Badarayana. Iti Badarayana manyate. This is how Badarayana Bhagavan manyate. He is saying. Why his name is given? Because he will be refuted by Jaimini later on. Therefore he puts his point. He himself is the author of Brahma Sutra and he himself puts his point. Now comes Purmimansa. Purpaksh comes now. Is it clear now? Sutra is clear. Tad upari api Badarayana Sambhavat. Now, Purmimansa comes up. He said, by what we have said is said, but I have my own reservations in one or two issues. Acha? Yes. What is your reservation? I have certain reservation. What is your reservation? In Purmimamsa, who is the Acharya of Purmimamsa? Jaimini, not Germany, Jaimini. Jaimini was a disciple of Vedvyas Bhagavan. So he says that I don't think so Devatas have the right for rituals. You came back again, yes. And because they don't have right for rituals, and therefore they should not be double promoted to study Vedanta. Upasana, ritual, they should not have the right. Why you are saying like that? Can I know that? Yes. Because there is one sutra there, Na Devanam Devantara Bhavat. See, this is the sutra in 315 page. 315 page, line number 4. Yadapi karmasu anadhikar karanamuktam na devanam devantara bhavat. And then it is written na rishinam arshayantara bhavat. You saw that? Didn't see that? Next page, 3415. Fourth line. Na devanam devantara bhavat iti na rishinam arshayantara bhavat. What is the meaning of that? All the rituals are defined as devatam uddishya agnau havistyaga. Ritual is defined as devatam uddishya Agnau Havistyaga. You take the name of some devta and then in the fire you offer the Havishya, Havan Samakri. This is what the ritual is in a common language. You say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Swaha means what? Swaha is the wife of Agni. Agni Devata is given the courier service. He is a courier service. Whatever you offer will go through him only. But where it is gone? Your bhav goes. No, the samagri is there, but your bhav goes. Whatever you offer in the Agni, that bhav is taken to that particular devata. So devata is bhav bhogi, not dravya bhogi. He doesn't enjoy your havish, your ghee, physical. He enjoys your bhav and sankalp. Your ability to sacrifice, he enjoys. He enjoys your thought. We all enjoy thought also. Somebody gives you food and if he gives with love, then you will enjoy more his food. So devatas enjoy the bhav more, the sankalp more. And that sankalp gets some kind of vehicle through the object outside. And therefore ghee is offered, and therefore samida is offered, nariyal is offered, sadis are offered. If Durga Ji's puja is there, so every day you must be seeing sadis were offered. They were in the Purnahoti, that was offered they were offered to Durga Ji. And you will be surprised. You'll be surprised. I don't know how much digestion capacity is there. In the Havan Kunda, sometimes, that devatas appear also. Devi Ji appears also. Indra appears also. Indra appears also. The Agni will take the shape of particular devata sometimes. Agni will take the shape of lion also. This is called the portion what rituals are divine. Devtam uddishya agnav havistyaga. So offering oblations in the fire for various devatas. And therefore devatas are called beneficiaries. Those who are receiving, it is called beneficiaries. And those who are doing the yajna, they are called benefactors. So benefactors is doing the yajna for the beneficiary called the devatas. Puri Mansa is saying all these things, which we totally agree. There is no problem in that. This Sanskriti was very developed. In no other religion there is a yajna system like that. No other religion. And these people take and then they go to Germany and other places and they do yajna. And through the yajna, then they say that yajna is very good for purifying the atmosphere. That is a very small result. That is a byproduct. And lot of work was done by Yajna Agadi. There are a lot of powers are there in this whole cosmos. And these yajnas are power trappers. They trap and hold that particular power for a particular work. Putreshti yajna is there. For money yajna is there. For rain yajna is there. For good crops yajna is there. For marriage yajna is there. For what is it called? Pleasing the God yajna is there. A lot of people, this Draupadi was born through yajna. Yajna Kanya. She was not born from the womb of a mother. Draupadi. Draupadi was the daughter of Drupad. And Drupad did the yagna for what? No. For Dronacharya. He wanted a son who can kill Dronacharya. I told the whole story. I'm not going to tell about the story. But some mistake was done by the priest. And instead of son, daughter came up. And Draupadi was very beautiful, but very dark. Little dark, not very dark. Sorry. Therefore her name was Krishna. Because she was coming from fire. Anything which is close to fire will become darker. You don't think dark are not beautiful. So she was very beautiful, but little dark. Her name became Krishna. But she can't fight in the battlefield. And therefore she was quite brilliant. As for Mahabharata, Draupadi was very brilliant. And her husbands liked her a lot also. And in that Mahabharata Parva it comes, Yudhishthira asks, Naradji I think he asks, that I have not seen anybody more devoted like Draupadi. Is there somebody else whose name you can tell who is very devoted to the wife like Draupadi? And then Naradji tells about Savitri Satyaval Katha. In that reference only he uses that Katha. So Draupadi was no ordinary lady. And when this was happened, then other was invoked. Of that time it was, mantra was very developed. Mantra Shakti, Purohit, Shuddhi was there. They could catch that. We have lost powers. Sakale neha mata yogo nashta parantapa. Then Drishtadumna was born. Drishtadumna was younger brother, not elder brother, of Draupadi, which he was born to kill. If you read Mahabharata, Bhagavad, lot of yajnas are mentioned. It appears there's a technology, as if a technology is there. Earlier line, now it is Yantra Shakti. That time Mantra Shakti was very developed. Mantra Shakti. War was fought with the mantras more than the yantras. Brahmastra was a mantra Shakti. Power of mantra is tremendous. Brahmastra, Indrastra, Agneyastra, Varunastra, Pashupatastra. They were appearing simple arrows which was in the quiver of the person. And they used to do tapasya to get the mantras. But that mantra was siddh with them. So if they throw the mantras, and they had Agni mantra, so the fire used to fall down on the enemies. It burned the whole enemies like that. So you saw in Mahabharata and Ramayana, these two arrows used to come zzz, like that. Although they showed quite a long time, the arrow one this year, this is not teaching at all. Both sides are still traveling. And sometime they tried to picturize as best as possible. That was in 90s when the technology was not that advanced. Now it is very advanced. But the principle was that only. So don't doubt that such things happen or not. These things do happen. These things do happen. But because the priests don't chant mantras properly, neither they have tapasya with them, neither proper Havan Samagri is there. Somebody brought here a Havan Samagri, there was a bone there in there. In the Havan Samagri, there was a bone. Dog must have touched something. Or that Havan Samagri has been touched by somebody impure. You don't know, there are a lot of things are there in this cosmos. Don't doubt so easily. Lot of powers are there, lot of devatas are there. We don't have the capacity to catch them. But it can do wonders. It can really do wonders. Oh, yes. Nabhi. In 5th canto it comes. Nabhi is there. Raja Nabhi is there. So Priyavrat is there. Priyavrat's son is Agneya. Agnigra's son is Nabhi. And Nabhi's son is Rishabdeva. So Nabhi also did this yajna, and then Rishabdeva was born after that. Our Bhagwan Ramji was born like that. And there is one place called Triyugi Narayan, near Kedarnath. So I was going to Kedarnath, they said, okay, let us go to Triyugi Narayan. Top of the hill, but the bus goes. Such mysterious places are there. So there was big Havan Kund. 20 families were there in that village. And that Havan Kund, they say here Shivji and Parvati took the phera in their marriage. In that Havan Kund. And the villagers came, they say, we maintain fire. The day the fire is off, the world will go for pralay. Therefore, we keep the fire on. That is there. Okay. A lot of things are there in this world which you don't know. We don't know, and you don't have the power to believe. That means that it doesn't mean it does not exist. So, Purnimansa said, please tell me, the yajna is done keeping devatas in mind. They are the beneficiaries and the Manushya are benefactors. Okay, he said. My problem is, if devatas himself start doing yajna, then for whom the yajna will be done? You are saying that they are fit for all these things, but my problem is this. It is just like that, Grahastha start taking Bhiksha. Then who will give Bhiksha to us? Bhiksha is only used for sannyasis, not for Grahasthas. Who will give Bhiksha? Bhiksha, we are the one who can go to the Grahastha. Grahastha can ask for donation. He can ask for dakshina, but not for Bhiksha. Priest can't ask for Bhiksha. Bhiksha means you have dedicated your life for the truth and sannyas. And you have no money, you have no food, and you don't want to keep any mind occupied. Because one food will bring 1,000 thoughts. You have to have kitchen, you have to have groceries, you have to have a maid, you have to have cleaning, you have to have powder to clean, you have to bring vegetable, you have to bring oil, you have to bring spices, you have to bring, different kind of things. So he said, instead of bringing so much of things, his scripture said you can go out, you can ask for Bhiksha from 5 houses, and after that, if you get something very good, if you don't get something, keep quiet and drink water and we take fasting. Observe fast. This way you won't have any time wasted. You can take Bhiksha, half an hour, 1 hour, and you can come back. This way you get some insult also, you get little ego also will be touched upon, and then your mind will be, you can focus on what you are doing. That is called Madhukari Bhiksha. Madhukari means as the bee goes from flower to flower to collect the honey, similarly sadhu can go to 5 houses, not that 20 houses and he is eating a lot. It's not like that. Only 5 houses allowed. And if Bhiksha is more, then you are expected to give it to somebody or you are expected to put in the earth. Not that you have to eat everything and finish it. And if not that it is compulsory, you have to go to 5 houses. If one has given, then you not go. If one has already given, it's not that 5 houses all are giving and you have to finish all. Then you will become sick. It is the upper limit that at the most, if supposing somebody gave only roti and you had no salt or no vegetable, then you can go to another one also. And supposing somebody has given only 1 roti, because you cannot ask many. If he gives 1, you have to do, you can't ask, give me more. There are rules there. Or you cannot ask to give me cake, it's my birthday. You cannot say like that. If one roti is there, and your diet is of 3 rotis, and you want little rice also. So one way you go to another house, he gave little rice. Third one gave little dal. Fourth one gave little chutney and something. At the most 5, you should fulfill your condition. And it is possible they may not give the rice. They may give you uncooked food. They may give you only atta. They give only atta. In our house, we used to give only the atta, the wheat flour. So then somebody can cook, some brahmachari can cook that. This is the life of a sannyas. What if grahast also is grahast? Because grahast is already earning. When you are earning, you should not go and ask something. You can't ask dan for yourself because you are already earning. These are the rules. The grahast is not allowed. Therefore, when Bharatji asks to Gangaji, then he says, please forgive me because I am a Kshatriya, I am asking to. He didn't ask for Bhiksha, he asked for the devotion of Bhagwan Ram. So, then who will give Bhiksha to these 3 ashrams are supported? 3 ashram, Brahmacharya ashram, Vanaprastha and Sannyas are supported by Grahastha ashram because they are the earning group. They said by C, okay, sannyasi is fine, I'll give you food, you give me knowledge. You do one thing, you study whole day and you contemplate. Do one thing in the evening, I will come to your ashram. And at that time you can teach me something so that I also know how to do jap, what is Ramayana, this is the Parasparam Bhavayanta. So you give me little knowledge, I'll give you the food. I'll take care of that. This equation was there. Got my point. But if they also take Bhiksha, then who will give Bhiksha then? So here this Purupaksh says, he said, and it is written, Jaimini Sutra which I quoted, Na devanam devantara bhavat. That means if devtas are doing havan, then there is no other devta who will take havan. Then the question will be there, the controversy will start. They all will say, no, I want to do havan. Then who will take the havan? Then there is quite a problem will be there. So who will take havan and who will give havan? Na devanam devantara bhava. And second he says, na rishis also should not do havan. Why? Because the rishi's name has been, in every mantra, there are rishi's name is chanted. In every mantra, if you remember, Rishi Chand Devta has taken, like Vishwamitra, Gayatri Chandaha. Therefore you touch the head, this is Rishi. Then you touch the mouth, this is Chand. You touch the heart, this is Devta. If you take if the Rishi is also doing, then again, who will be the another set of Rishi whom he can invoke other Rishi? If he himself has gone, then how will he invoke somebody? And therefore, Purmimansa concluded that Rishi and Devta both should not do the Yagya Yagadi. I hope you are understanding. So Rishi Devta, Gyan Kande, Anidhikara. And because they are not qualified for Karma Kand, similarly they are not qualified for Gyan Kand because of the same reason. So Gyan Kande Anidhikaraha Vedatva, because that is also part of Ved, and Karma Kand. What you have to say, Bhashkar says, see, I am not going to dispute your argument. But problem is, you should confine your argument to Karma Kand alone. Don't bring your argument to Gyan Kand. Why? Because you took the example of the oblation takers and Rishi invokers. These arguments you gave that they should not be there. In the Gyan Kand, we don't have a Devta and Rishi. And therefore, through which you said that is not required. Chalo, I agree that in the Karma Kand, Devta and Rishi are not eligible. They are not eligible. That is not their area. That is not their area. I'm telling you many times, please know your areas. Neither don't transgress into somebody else's areas. This is a big mistake we do. We think on those subjects where we are not qualified. Okay? Don't start match fixing. Their girl is not getting married. The devotee's boy is there. Don't go into all these foolish works. The grahast can do that. Householder can do that. This is there, but it's not your area. Then you're not fit for all that work. Or start business. Business, not your area. Earning money through business is not whatever dakshina comes, that is enough. That is enough for you. You need not earn money for. Somebody said in the ashram we should sell some garment. This way ashram will. It's not for ashram, it's not. We'll bring garment and with some vessels we'll send 500, we'll send in 1,000, 500 we'll gain. This is not the purpose of ashram. There is a way to get money. People will give the money, but don't go out of your way in other area. It's not your area of action. Whatever seva you are required, ashram will tell you. You serve the ashram in that capacity. Money will come. People, what is the biggest source of money? In the ashrams, you know that? What? Dakshina. Shraddha. When the people see that this ashram is working, and they are working means they are giving discourses or some kind of regular classes are going on, automatically they ask, how do you run that? How do you manage the expenses? You don't know, 100 times they ask this. Those who don't have that much, they also say, I can also contribute. I want to contribute something. But what's the cause? Because they hear from you. Ashram was the giver of the moral values, society. Who brought Ramayana to the society? Who brought Bhagavad? That came. So Bhashyakar says, I agree, chalo, for a time being I agree. Later on I'll discuss on this point. That Karm Kand, even if they are not allowed. But Gyan Kand, the reasons through which you gave that they are not eligible for Karm Kand, that benefactor and beneficiary should be two different. So Gyan Kand does not need Devata and Gyan Kand doesn't need any Rishi also. Okay, and therefore Gyan Kand, they can also hear Veda. And second point, Chandogya Upanishad I'll quote. Indra goes to Prajapati for self-knowledge. Remember that? Indra goes for 32 years and then he says for the knowledge is there. And therefore in Taitri also, in Taitri Upanishad alo, Varuna Upipitram Upasasara Di Bhagavo Brahmeti, in Kaivalya also Athashvalano Bhagavantam Upasamit Upavacha. So all these things are there. So this way Rishi also goes for knowledge in the Gyan Kand. And Rishi and Devata also go for the knowledge, as Upanishad has said. Somebody went to Indra also. Pratardana Raja was there. He went to the Indra. Yad hitatamam tad bruhi. Indra had the knowledge of the self. Then he told that, you see, the Upanishad and Purana are full of such stories where the Devata and Rishi are going for the knowledge of the self. More we'll see. Tomorrow I hope you are clear. I feel it is interesting portion. You should also feel like that. You are forcing us. Yes, this is the glory of Brahma Vidya. If Devatas can know how important it must be, which we are knowing. What Taponji was reading, Gurudev was reading, Shivanand Maharaj was reading. They left houses to go to the Himalayas. We are reading that. So it is very precious. Most precious knowledge is Brahma Vidya of the whole world. Om. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।